Welcome back, everyone. Well, for the better part of 40 years, if you live in Warren County, part of Saratoga County, part of Washington County, you're familiar with Hudson Headwaters Health Network, health care providers for that region. Joining me today is Dr. John Rugge, who is the CEO. So welcome, John.
Thank you.
Doctor. Hello, doctor.
It's okay. John is fine.
It sort of goes without saying that that's a pretty bold venture, especially when you know the story. So going back to like 1974, if I'm doing the math right, you recognized a need. Tell us a bit about that.
I didn't really recognize the need. The need happened. I was finishing a canoe book. A town nearby, Chestertown, lost 3 doctors, all of its 3 doctors in one season, and something had to happen.
Mm-hmm. And you had been coming up to the area, really, to vacation. You like canoeing, correct?
Well, there's this place called Gore Mountain for skiing, and there's a Hudson River for canoeing, and how do you stay away from that?
I got it. So when you recognized that the area was underserved, a rural area, some poverty, a real need there, right? So what'd you do?
Underserved is a big word. At that time, it was little towns losing their doctors, and I was a doctor, so I could do a little something, and then it became clear there was more than one person can do, and so you start doing one thing after another, and pretty soon there's a network.
Mm-hmm. Now, if we fast forward a bit, you really took the impetus to go to the different towns and see what was needed in the towns, and you started opening up these health centers. What was it like in the beginning?
Not quite. The towns came to us.
They did.
We started in Chestertown, had a team of 4 PAs and myself initially, and when the next town, Warrensburg, lost its last physician, this was the place to look. And how do you say no?
Yeah, well, that's some people would be able to say no, John, but apparently you decided not to.
Couldn't find that answer.
And I guess there's no turning back at that point, right?
And then one town leads to another, and pretty soon it's an enterprise.
Now, my wife and I are 2 for the road, so we're always driving around in Warren County, and you've changed the face of Warrensburg. Right down in the middle of Warrensburg, there's a huge health center that you've built. And give us an idea, what region does that serve?
Well, we started in a grocery store, and the story is a good one. At the time when that last doctor left Warrensburg, there were 2 buildings in town. One was too big and one was too small. Mm-hmm. Too small was impossible. Too big was the old A&P store. So for 39 years, we practiced both for the local people and also as a referral center for people farther north, going to the high peaks, going to Schroon Lake, going to Indian Lake, who could stop inside the blue line for the referral care they needed. And eventually that building that was too big became way too small. And so we were fortunate, we found a $5 million federal grant, which was just right to exactly make that same size building over again, but went to our friends in the community to say, maybe we should think about the next 40 years. Mm-hmm. And that led to a community fund drive, it led to amazing support, and well, you know, what counts in Warrensburg as a skyscraper, 2 stories. Yeah, can you believe? But it's a magnificent building. It's one that we hope will become a teaching center, a referral center, and it is core primary care for the local people.
You know, just a quick aside, you drive by and you had that wonderful sort of a thermometer thing out there where you would show the community support, and we did a couple of stories on that, and I was surprised. There was a lot of community support for that.
Yeah, more like a volcano. You know, you watch it rise and then go over the top.
Yeah, that's
right.
It
was a good feeling. Yeah.
The healthcare is in the news all the time. The face of it is changing constantly. The population is aging. Some of the challenges that you see, maybe without, or any way you'd like to describe it to me, Affordable Care Act. A lot of people say now a lot more of our general population has the opportunity to be covered. You're in rural areas. You see a lot of income disparity, those kinds of things. What do you see as some of the challenges?
Well, the ancient challenge for us has been a lot of people on Medicaid, which pays very poorly for lots of health care, and lots of people uninsured, and that was the impediment. That's why physicians simply could not go to these communities. And the combination of support with our designation as a community health center and more recently the Affordable Care Act has really taken away for many people those barriers. And so we're able to do what we want to do, and that is take care of everybody regardless of their insurance status, regardless of their finances. And because we're the only act in town, literally taking care of everybody, looking to say what can we do no matter where you live within that geography.
Sure. Now, you're the CEO. You have a lot of responsibilities with Hudson Headwaters, but you're also still a practicing physician.
Absolutely.
So you get to see it day to day, as we always like to say, in the trenches, right?
I'm not going to see patients again until 1 o'clock this afternoon, but yeah, it's part of the daily life. It's what, at least for me, keeps me real, keeps us grounded, and makes sure that everything we're doing goes right back to the patient.
Right. Boy, what dedication you have. The future. You're 16 centers now, which is remarkable growth in 40 years, really supplying a real need for the region. You're opening a 17th center, correct?
We are.
So give me a sense of what you're hoping to accomplish near future.
Well, it's not more of the same. What we know is healthcare is changing fast, that more people are able to get care in the office setting where it used to be in the hospital setting, in the home setting where it used to be in the office setting. And so our job is to think for the future, look at new ways of delivering care. So many of our visits now, instead of being conducted in the exam room, are over the portal.
Yeah, right,
They're
sure.
computer visits.
That's right.
And no one can be exactly sure where this leads, how far it's going to go, or how fast it can come. But our job is to stay at that cutting edge and try to invent the future together with our patients.
You know, John had mentioned to me before we went on air that the model's changing. It's rapidly changing, some of its technology and whatever, but the personal aspect of this never changes.
Yeah.
And that the thought is that, you know, it isn't just the individual anymore. On either end, there are teams of people that are able to come and add their expertise. He told me a quick story of a guy who came in, was complaining of heart problems climbing a hill, and finish that story.
Yeah, this is all about access to care and having insurance, actually. But a patient who came in a little short of breath, no idea that it was a heart problem, and I had no idea that this was a heart problem until we checked his blood counts, all fine. Checked the echocardiogram and realized this man's on heart failure. And his response was, when he heard the problem, thank God, which took me aback. And the reason he said that was the previous week he was able to sign up for health insurance for the first time and knew that he could get the care he needed.
Well, John, thank you very much for coming in. You're very interesting to talk to. You have a lot of passion for this. You know, it's just not a business.
It's not a business.
It's not a business. Well, best of luck to you. It's Hudson Headwaters Health Network, primary care, OBGYN services, emergency services throughout Warren County, just part of Saratoga County, part of Washington County, right?
Very good.
Yeah, good, John. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.